just about to stick her earphone in the hole, and she's ready, because like she went out early. She says, "What's wrong?" And she says, "Oh, this one of the boys is trying to look through this hole to try and perv on us." And right as Minette is like trying to say something, like look in, she just puts her hand on the wall and makes an ice spike go through. And like Todoroki sees like, huh, one of the girls has an ice quirk. Interesting. And Minetta's like holding his eye, like like, oh, my eye. And she just yells through like, stop trying to do that, you pervert. Disgusting. And yeah, she just walks out. And she like wakes up Isaiah and tells him about it. He's like, oh, oh, if he gets lost, I'm definitely expelling him. And she's like, you're going to expel someone? And he says, anyone who comes last will get expelled. And he's like, oh, okay. So yeah, and like that happens. Everyone comes out. Isaiah says, okay, we'll be doing all the kind of tests that you did in middle school, except you're allowed to use your quirks. And everyone starts like going like, oh wow, really? Like, oh yeah, this will be fun. And Isaiah says, okay, if you think it's going to be that fun, then anyone who comes in last place will be expelled. But yeah, she's like, okay, and then Aizawa says, okay, it's the person in first. Baku like has his hand out already, like oh yeah, give me the ball, I got first, because he didn't get told, because All Might knew like if he told him like there would be a new like his house wouldn't be there anymore, and like he says, oh okay, esdeath Midoriya, and just gives her the ball. And Baku's like, what? Like, what? How did she get first place? She only has an ice quirk. And then she says, remember what I did to you with just my ice quirk? I was holding back like so much. He was like, what? And then like as she's saying this, she's getting ready to throw the ball, and like as she throws it, massive, like huge, like it's going over the UA fence, ice spike just hits the ball and like sends it like soaring. I ain't gonna say going to space, but like it going pretty far. Like it is like I'm gonna say like 3,000 meters now, 4,500 meters. Everyone's like, what? Like, what? How did she do that? Like, that's an amazing quirk. And like Todoroki sees like, huh? So she's the one with the ice quirk. And he's like, but how does she make so much ice? And she doesn't even look tired. Anyway, but yeah, that's happening. And like, yeah, everyone else does the test. Like, I don't really see like how ice could be that useful like in grip strength or anything, so I'm not gonna say she gets first in everything. Like speed, she just like slides across, like I'm pretty sure like Ida got like 3.11 seconds or something. I'm gonna say she gets like 3.10. Like she used ice to push it and she slid on it. And like in jumping, she was like jumped and then put some ice underneath and just pushed her up. Then caught herself. What else? I don't know, something. She's pretty much got like either first, second, third, or fourth and everything, and like overall she's got first. And then like Bakugo second. Actually no. Yeah. Yeah, I'm at for plot convenience, Baku just gets second because he can't use one for all yet. Like full counting, but he will in like Heroes vs Villains. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's happening. And like she gets first, Bakugo's pissed. Like he gets fourth, like it becomes like it goes her, Todoroki, Momo, and then like him, because Todoroki uses his fire because Endeavor wasn't an ass. But yeah, whatever. And like, and after that, she just starts walking up to Todoroki, and she says like, "I got something for you." And she says, "Oh, what really? Why?" She just reaches into like her pocket, like what she did when Tatsumi like won the thing, and pulls out the collar and just puts it on him and says, "You're mine now." And everyone's just like, "What?" And as I was like, "Hold up, I didn't even excuse class yet." She's like, "I don't care," and like she just drags him somewhere, and like, yeah, they they do the thing, and like yeah, next day, Minette, like everyone's wondering what happens to Todoroki, and Todoroki's like smiling a bit more, than like he's kind of he's like kind of smiling a bit more. Like he's not just like stone faced, he kind of like has a little smirk on him, and she isn't like. I know she's smiling as well, like kind of like a grin. And yeah, like because my mom and Todoroki are friends, like she asked Todoroki like, "What'd you guys do?" And Todoroki says, I'm not sure, but I think we're dating now." And she's like, oh." She's like, "Oh, like, oh." Like, you know, like all these things, they go like, "Oh, yeah, that's what I do." I feel like I just did that way too much. And like, yeah. And like, Mama walks over to as that, and she's like, "Did you do what I think you did?" And she said like, "Yes." And she's like, "Would you, like?" She's like, how was it?" And she is like gets a grin, and she's like, "Oh, more than satisfied." And Todoroki hears this, like some of the people hear this, like, oh, like they hear this conversation, like, oh no. Oh, I feel so. I kind of feel weird talking about that, but alright. Yeah, and then like they're doing the classes or whatever, you know, all the normal stuff. And like on the last, like no, second last lesson of the day, they hear like thump 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 thump, and the door like fly open, saying like, "I am here, walking in like a hero." And like everyone starts cheering. She really doesn't. Like she's kind of like when like when All Might like plus ultra at like when they're doing the when he was talking to everyone at the Heroes vs Villains, like what Todoroki was doing, he was kind of like putting his hand up, like, yeah, she's kind of just doing that because she doesn't care. Yeah, and like then everyone's getting changed and everything. Her hero costume is just this. Ned is happy. Oh yeah, wait, she doesn't have those like weird cushion, like weird black fluffy things, because I don't know what the hell they are. Yeah, she has a really long blue hair that looks like a freaking cape. But yeah, whatever. And I'm gonna switch up the teams a little bit. So it is Bakugo and her on the villain team versus Todoroki and Uraka on the hero team. Yeah, Bakugo says like, whatever, I'm just gonna. Like, she's like, whatever. Bakugo's like, I'm just gonna go out there and like just defeat them while you sit here and do nothing. She's like, oh really? Yeah. And yeah, so Bakugo goes down, like she just like creates like an ice throne or something, and she just sits there waiting. And like yeah, and like I'm gonna say she just left like a little thing on the ground that like would probably, like when someone stepped on it, they could probably tell like that someone was coming. But yeah, and like so yeah, Todoroki and Uraka just like defeat Bakugo somehow. Like Todoroki would freeze his legs and arms, Uraka would touch him and like send him up, and then Todoroki would just freeze him to the roof and just drop him, and then like just he gets knocked out somehow. I know he hits his head. They put the things on him, and like yeah, like, and I'm gonna say the bomb's on the 5th floor, so, like, and Bakugo was on like the 1st. Yeah. So, yeah, like they're walking up, and like on the 3rd floor they start feeling like a slight chill. Like it doesn't bother Todoroki as much as it does Uraka. And like, but like on the 2nd floor, like on the 4th floor, like Uraka's like like her teeth are jittering, and like Todoroki's like starting to feel the cold as well. On the fifth floor, like it's just ice everywhere, like it's frozen, and like Todoroki's even jittering. He's like, how cold is this? And like they open up the door, like they had to like kick down the door because like the handle was frozen, like the mechanism was like frozen as well, and they just see her like sitting on her ice throne, like, oh, you finally arrived. Bakugo not doing much, and like Todoroki is pretty much like sends a fire blast, and he's like, oh, and she just like makes an ice wall. She's like, oh, so you'll do that to me? Oh, you do that to me? And he's like, yeah, she's like, yeah. And Uraraka's like, I'm gonna say she didn't hear the conversation. And yeah, and like, I'm gonna say she liked Todoroki, cause why not? Just to make her like be bitchy, cause yeah. And then yeah, so like, Uraraka's like, what do you mean you? He's like, oh, did you not hear? He's my boyfriend. And like Todoroki's like yeah, like he doesn't understand like what's happening, because like all he knows is he got dragged somewhere, something happened next day, and she's like, oh, you're my boyfriend now. And he's like, what? He's like, okay, he's like, yeah, I guess. And Orac's like, what? And yeah, whatever. And it's like, she just starts running at it, like, how dare you? Or something like, how dare you take him? And she like runs, and like, all she does, she just steps up, like, and just sweeps her feet up from underneath her and like freezes her to the ground. It's like, pathetic. And yeah, like, and Todoroki's like, well, and he just sends like a giant ice pillar with like flames along, and she just stops it. Like, she just stops the ice pillar, and Todoroki's like, huh, what? And like, he just creates like ice walls, like, for stop the fire, and she's like, he's like, how did you stop my ice? I knew you could make ice and control ice, but how did you stop mine? And she's like, I can control ice. And she just makes the floating icicle things